Can you talk about the importance and what you did to just overcome fear after fear and what that did for you, that exercise of overcoming them?
So I'll tell you something. I'm talking about self-acceptance. Accept yourself the way you are. It's never easy. I think the biggest obstacle is a long list of fears, all sorts of fears, known, unknown. My biggest fears were three. They were my major fears. So I wrote them down and I said, you know what? I'm going to overcome these fears one at a time. My biggest fear was facing people, and when when I say this to the world that, I was scared of facing people, people think I'm being funny. But no. And it's not the fact that I did not want to see people or I just hated people. That's why I didn't want to see them. I was tired of, those remarks like, oh, poor girl. I was tired of being treated as a patient. Oh, how do you feel? I feel the same. Ask me more about what I'm doing in life right now, And this mercy in their eyes that, oh, poor girl, that really, that was killing me from within. And I said, you know what? I'm going to overcome this fear of facing people. And, maybe one day they will understand that I'm okay. I'm okay the way I am now. I've accepted myself. So please, you need to accept me too, And as they say that when you think about doing something, the universe conspires. While I was thinking constantly about how can I overcome this fear of facing people? How can I do this? I was going to the malls, I was doing groceries, but that wasn't enough. Out of the blue, I got a call from TEDx. And, so the guy said that, we really want you to come and share your story. And without missing a second, I said, I'm doing it. So That's how I gave my very first TED Talk. And in fact, while I was giving the talk, I was sharing my life story with the world. There I was sitting in front of so many people and sharing my story thinking, what am I doing? I'm literally becoming an open book and everybody can come and say things to me because, here I am.
They can judge you. They can do whatever, yeah.
Of course, right? But then I realized that maybe, someone somewhere in the audience needs my words. So I'll do it for that one person. And then later that girl came from the audience. And in that moment, I realized that, probably being speaker is my true calling in life, maybe. Then the other biggest fear was the fear of not becoming a mother. And I was constantly thinking about it, that, how can I work? And then I sat down with my mother one day and I said, Mama, I want to adopt a child. And, but I was scared, being a wheelchair user, I said, maybe, it will be hard. And my mother said, I'm with you. We'll raise him together.
Wow.
And so I said, can we do this? She said, yes, let's do it. And that's how. So I applied for adoption. I waited for 2 years, and then one fine day out of nowhere, I got a call. The lady said, there is a baby boy, and would you like to adopt? I said, is that even a question? Of course, yes. So that's how Nile came in my life. And then the other biggest fear was abandonment. As we were talking earlier, what happens when people leave? Trust me, nothing happens. We are so scared of abandonment that, again, when you let go of all the extra people, you realize that you never needed them. You just never needed them. So have a good relationship with yourself and you will never be scared of abandonment. So when I overcame this fear of facing people, I became a speaker or whatever things I'm doing. When I overcame the fear of motherhood, I became a mother. So that's what it is.
Why do you think so many people are afraid to be alone? This is kind of like this fear. I don't want to die alone. I can't, go day by day without having friends around me all the time. I can't be alone. I can't go to dinner by myself. I can't go to the movie by myself. I can't walk down the street alone. Why is there this insecurity or fear that so many people have?
Because we forget that we came in the world with nothing and we leave with nothing. We came alone, crying.
Yeah.
And when we were born, we were in pain, right? And we were crying. That was the sign of life. Oh, the baby is alive because the baby is crying and the baby is in pain. And when we leave, we are alone. So many people have left. Life does not stop. right? We are designed, because we are social animals, right? We human beings are social animals. We need to socialize. The problem is not with the relationship. The problem is the expectations that we have with our partners, that my spouse has to make me feel good.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
Your spouse is a human being too, fighting battles. You are doing too. Again, if you two are not complementing each other, your life will become miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's one thing that I've noticed. People are competing. I mean, two people in a relationship are not complementing each other. They're competing with one another. This is so silly.
Yes.
I mean, you are supposed to complement each other, but you guys are competing with each other. And no wonder why so many people are so broken. So broken. Either they switch to the new relationships like that because, oh my God, what will happen if we are all by ourselves? Trust me, nothing happens. This global pandemic has taught us a lesson. And that is, by the end of the day, we are all on our own. Mm-hmm. So if you want to heal from COVID, you have to live with yourself. And you know why people were so scared of being on their own? Because they have never spent time with themselves.
I know.
For so long, right? And they were just so scared. But let me tell you something. Being a wheelchair user, I have spent so much time on my own, mm-hmm. and it did not kill me. Right. So when you sit with yourself, you realize, oh, I'm actually a good company for myself.
Yeah.
And that's it. So you go, you meet people, you socialize because it's fun, but not because you need to do it, but because you want to do it. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
And I think there's this... it's this thing where we shouldn't be abandoning ourselves. We don't need to be at an event or be in relationships with people if they are constantly toxic, like you said, or if they're making us wrong or bad, if they're not accepting us. That's really a form of self-hatred if we keep putting ourselves in those situations and we abandon the love for ourselves, the boundaries we need to create to have the environment of peace and love and joy. So I think it's important for us to remember that. Like, we don't have to keep showing up in situations where people are trying to hurt us. We can protect ourselves and not abandon ourselves.
Yes, like Maya Angelou says, when people show you their true colors, believe them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do not justify their toxicity. Oh, my spouse is being overprotective. You know what? Because he's so much in love. No, that's toxic. That's bad. And it's only going to get worse, So be aware. When people show you their true colors, believe them.
Yes. Why do you think, for people who might feel stuck in their life, might feel some type of brokenness, whether it be emotionally or physically, and they say, I don't know how to go after my dreams, what advice would you give to people who are struggling to figure out what their dreams are and also how to go after them?
First and foremost, we have this constant pressure of overachievement thanks to social media. Why? Because everybody's posting about something great. I achieved this, I achieved that. Oh my God, #globaltrotter. Wait, I cannot afford to buy a ticket. I cannot go anywhere. What am I supposed to do, right? When you see people posting, rather bragging about what they have done in their lives every day, projects after projects, you question yourself. Am I doing enough? Am I good enough? Is my life meaningful enough, right? But let me tell you something. Social media is all about the good stuff. Nobody is going to post about their daily struggles. When I try to sit every day in the morning because my back muscles don't work, I fall back. Then I try to get up, I fall back. And it happens, it continues. So basically, I start my day as a failure because I just cannot sit on my own without the help of my mother. But my social media doesn't show that. It's all about inspirational things, right? So please, You don't have to be an overachiever every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes just waking up in the morning and not giving up on yourself is a huge achievement.
Absolutely.
And I do it every day. You do it every day. We all do that. So appreciate it and be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And you were talking about people dreaming. I always say one thing, that dreams don't work unless you do. There is no such thing as overnight achievement. No, if it comes easy, it goes easy. I can sit in the corner of the room and daydream all day long, but nobody is going to come and serve success on plate. Right? So I have to be optimistic, but I have to be realistic too. I need to work to get my dreams. And that's it. And what I've learned so far, Louis, is the attitude of gratitude works wonders. Just be grateful.
Yes.
Because you are way, way better than many. It is so powerful that gratitude has the power to turn what you have into enough. Gratitude will never turn your pain into suffering. It will never. Right. And so be grateful for all the things that you have, for the things that you don't have or you have lost. Just be grateful.
For many years of my life, I would get frustrated when things would happen, right? I remember having a dream of being a professional football player, and I got injured. I broke my wrist and had a surgery and had to recover for about 1.5 years, which kept me from playing and living my dream and playing sports anymore. And then I went through multiple breakups. I had to learn the lesson the hard way many times in relationships. Just lots of things happened where I was like, why is this happening? Why? Why is this breakdown happening? Why am I in pain? Why did this happen when I was a child? All these different things. And then I finally learned a strategy where people always say, when you look back, you can connect the dots. Hindsight is 20/20, they say, right? You can look back and you can see why that needed to happen. Then when bad things started to happen, I said, you know what? I'm going to look forward. I'm going to have future hindsight. I'm going to say, you know what? This needed to happen because it's helping me become a new person. It's helping me let go of toxic relationships. It's helping me get on a different path that will serve more people in my life and bring me more joy. When you had this accident, did you think about yourself in the future, or when did you start to realize that, this is happening for me because it's going to benefit more people, it's going to bring me closer to my mission, or it's going to help me bring myself more joy? When did that happen for you?
It's rightly said. Nothing is happening to us. It's happening for us. It's all about perception, right? It's all about your perspective. I cannot relate to that 21-year-old who used to walk around. I don't even remember, Louis, how it feels, to stand on your legs.
Wow.
I just don't feel it. And if you can feel it, you're very lucky. Health is such a big blessing. And when I say that health is a blessing, does not make me unlucky because I'm not healthy that way. But all I know is that when I say rebirth, it was a completely new me. It was a totally different person. And yes, there are lessons, there are mistakes. And I always say that even wrong people in your life, they become lessons. Bad times become lessons. Your mistakes become great lessons. And you learn, you grow, you improve. And that's what life journey is all about.
Yeah. I've got a couple final questions for you. This has been inspiring, and I can't wait to meet you in person one day. I have a couple final questions for you, but I want everyone listening and watching to follow you. You've got an amazing YouTube channel. I love your stuff on Instagram. Your website, Muniba, and also your name on social media everywhere. But one thing I want to do is figure out how can people see your art and purchase your art? Where can we go to learn more about this? Because I've seen some of it online. I think it's really inspiring. And I want to send people to your artwork because I think it's beautiful what you create.
Thank you. Well, you can just drop an email. I don't know. This question came out of nowhere. So I was like, okay.
Is there artwork on your website where people can purchase, or where can we find it?
Yes, my artwork is on my website. So what you can do is, if you have some queries, you can just send an email, askmunibamazari@gmail.com, and my team will get back to you.
Okay, cool. And is there stuff for sale online right now if we wanted to purchase it, or do you just do custom work, or how does it work?
A lot of work is still available. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. I want to send people to your artwork. I want people to have more of your art in their homes or in their offices around the world. So
Thank you, Louis. Thank you. Appreciate it.
of course, it's really beautiful stuff. This is a question I ask everyone at the end of my interviews. So I would like you to imagine a hypothetical scenario that you get to live as long as you want to live and accomplish and achieve and serve in the way you want to serve to the world. And you get to live your life the way you want, right? But one day you have to go to the next place. You have to leave this earth. And for whatever reason, in this hypothetical scenario, you have to take all of your work with you. This interview, your videos, your content, it has to go to the next place. So we don't have access to your information and this message anymore. It's hypothetical. But you get to leave behind to the world 3 lessons that you've learned from your entire life experience. And these 3 lessons is all we would have to remember your content by. I call it the 3 truths question. What would be, again, without you preparing for this, what would be those 3 truths or 3 lessons you would share if that's all you could share?
Well, I would want the world to know what real success is. Everybody wants to become successful. My definition of success is different. Success is not about how well people know you. Success is how well you know yourself.
Ooh, I like
right?
it.
So just know yourself. If you know yourself, you are successful. And secondly, be grateful. I wish I could say it 1,000 times, but gratitude works wonders. When you are too busy complaining about what you don't have, think about a child who is suffering from thalassemia, who is waiting for 1 bottle of blood and dreaming to have a life that you have. But you know what? You're too busy complaining. The breath that you just took right now, that's a blessing. Be grateful. You have survived a global pandemic. We are sitting here having a conversation. So many people have left the world. We are still here. Be grateful. So gratitude, the attitude of gratitude works wonders. And last but not least, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again, that you are the hero of your own story. And heroes never give up. So just don't give up and keep going. The deformity that I have in my body, I cannot fix that. The scars that I have on my body, even though I'm healed, wounds and scars are still there. I'm not ready to change that. I'm okay with that. I've accepted. But what really makes me perfect is how I communicate with people.